Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we have a bunch of results over the past weekend. We had 3 BCS events as well as 2 WGPs around the world. Gonna cover all the results and look at some of the interesting deck lists that came out over the weekend. Spoiler alert, there was a Sanctuary Guard Dragon. Definitely gonna be looking at that for the V Premium format. If you guys need any coaching, feel free to hit me up on my Metafy. My link is in the bottom right hand corner. Feel free to book a session and we can get started. If you guys haven't done it already, click that subscribe button for all notifications on new videos that I publish on this channel right there on your mobile phone. Yeah, just going through the WGP for China. So 3 MyGo, probably the best deck in the JP format at the moment. And then I guess one of everything else, 1 Vanguard, one of the decks that we probably haven't seen much of at all from the new set 13, as well as Youthberg, Leonorn, Jujud, and Shamu. And then looking at the top 4, so first place was taken by Youthberg, second was Jujud, third was Leonorn. You know, the 3 protagonist decks taking it all, and then 4th place was Shamu in 4th place. So that's pretty cool. I mean, I think all of these decks are like really good. So once it comes into the English format, just prior to Worlds, I think Worlds is going to be in a pretty cool landscape because English may or may not get MyGo. I mean, I guess looking at the trends now, we haven't even got Quince yet, so I am highly unlikely, well, it is highly unlikely that we'll get MyGo, and I think Token Rambu comes out later on as well. And funnily enough, we don't actually see Token Rambu on this list either. So no Mikazuki, no training tools. It's just, you know, MyGo is just so strong, really good early game, and yeah, it just does what it does. Then looking at WGP Niigata. So first place was an Orphis Mask, second was Youthberg, third was MyGo, and 4th was Leonorn. So, you know, Orphis Mask is a deck that just got released in the English format, and to, I guess, show that Orphis Mask has, you know, its placing in the format at the moment, you know, first place just shows it all. So congratulations to the Orphis player, and obviously to all the other players here on this, you know, beautiful fuzzy paradox pie chart. No, not even pie chart, it's like a graph. Right? No, not even a graph, just an infographic. Then looking at BCS Indonesia, this was the event that I went to. Amazing vibes, had so many people, you know, from different countries all around the world, well, all around Asia, Oceania more so, just kind of come together and, you know, play the game that we love. 2 Gandivas, 2 Willistas came into the top 8 with 1 Minerva, Bastion, Greedon, and Orphis. So this is the first Bastion record, I guess, top from the western side, and no Sapient Owl as well. Then looking at the top 4, first was Minerva, second and third were Gandiva, and as you can see, third is Manlong. He also came along, really chill guy. It was actually pretty cool just watching him play, just the knowledge that he has, and you know, everything that he does is just very clean cut. Very skilled player. Spoiler alert, he actually topped twice that weekend. So third here, and then second in V, and then 4th place was Willista. Then looking at V, just as I mentioned before, there's 2 Luards and then 1 of everything else. So a very, you know, diverse format at the moment. 1 Gold Paladin, which was a Spectral Duke, 1 Night Rose, Ange, Rising Nova in V. That's crazy. 1 Jewel Knight, 1 Leopold, pretty much everything there we kind of expect, maybe except for the Spike Brothers. And then first place was Brian Wijaya with Luard. I had a talk afterwards with him. It's his favorite deck, he's been playing it for ages, so congratulations. You know, hard work pays off. You know, you've put in the hard work, you finally get it, and getting first place, that sponsored invite to the World Finals, that is just amazing. Then second place, just short, was Manlong playing Luard. And then third place was the Spectral Duke, and then 4th was Eugene with Night Rose. So just gonna look at the first place list. He's a big Aespa fan, coming from the Instagram, you know, tag right there. This is pretty standard, right? Bat build, and everything else that makes Luard good. 3 Ildana instead of 4, so cutting the 1 for maybe like another like Painter or Charon, and then, you know, you're still playing the 7/2s, and then everything else is, you know, as cookie cutter as it gets. Playing 3 Owl in total. Then just looking at Manlong's list, so Manlong didn't play Bats, but he does play the Abyss Router, so I guess the reliability or the setup for Apocalypse Bat is a bit not tedious, but like it doesn't really flow well with the flow of the game. I think I talked to him over the weekend about it, and it just feels like, you know, if you're playing Abyss Router, then you know you're swinging Rigger with 2 crit, you're pressuring for lethal anyways. You drop the Router, the Vanguard attacks, and you put the crit on the grade 0, so you kind of go 2-2, and then pressure with the 1 in the middle. So yeah, it's just like less setup for the same amount of attacks, so I guess that kind of makes sense. But otherwise, you know, everything else is, you know, as straightforward as it gets. So very, very standard list. I think the Abyss Rider list was more of like the earlier iterations of Luard, and then people just kind of, you know, transitioned to bats. I think Ryan Kai did a lot of, I guess, work in the V format when the bats were good, and then just kind of translated into what it is now. And then just looking at the Spectral Duke list, so this list is pretty cool. A little bit of everything, only playing 2 of the Spectral Duke, so the reverse kind of makes sense. You know, sometimes your opponent denies you at 4, and you actually don't get the full effect off, but otherwise, you know, you're capitalizing on full Cavalier Dragon, literally Soul Blast 1 for a free card every single turn, really, really strong. But yeah, otherwise everything else is, you know, free calls, Vortimer Lions, obviously because of Spectral Duke, making sure that, you know, your 13k base, and then yeah, this one is pretty cool. So essentially when you attack or boost, you can Soul Blast 1 and apply all effects essentially. So it gains +5, and your opponent must intercept as much as possible. Really good into Luard, force your opponent to intercept, and even into like stuff like, you know, Melody, making your opponent intercept, and then yeah, just absolutely destroying all of their intercepts. Really, really cool card, really good inclusion into, I guess, what the deck kind of has to go into during the format, I guess, of the day as well, right? And especially if you know kind of what people are playing on the day, a lot of Luards, a lot of intercepts, this card really will put in the work. So yeah, very cool Spectral Duke list. And then for premium, this is where the controversy kind of hits, right? So 2 days prior to this event, the ban list got hit. Well, the ban list dropped, right? And Myrtle was not on the list, Gridora was not on the list, and you know, this is just kind of how, you know, everything rolled out. So we had 3 Bermudas, where one of them was a Melista, 2 Highlanders, I think one was Gabriel Tio as well, 1 CBD, 1 Night Rose. So the Night Rose was Kelvin Galini, my BSF teammate from our back-to-back premium champion team for Indonesia, and then 1 Gridora, 1 OTT, and 1 Minerva. So I think like overall across the board, like a lot of decks are very viable, are very strong. But obviously, you know, there are like super degenerate decks like this one. Congratulations to Steven Budiono, back-to-back champion. He was the one that beat me last year, and then coming again, you know, just right up to 3, loop and win, and you know, just call it a day. And it's funny because it's literally 2 days after the ban list, and this one, and I think Eve won in Houston as well, and it just shows, right? Like, you can't picture a better story after that, right? So first place was Melissa, second was Gabriel Tan with Highlander, third was Matthew Evans with CBD, and then fourth was Kelvin Galini with Night Rose. Ever so short of a Worlds invite, but you know, nonetheless, congratulations to everybody here. I'm just gonna look at one of the lists. So this is the Highlander list that came second. Very straightforward. Plays the Loris, which is quite interesting. And then, you know, I'm guessing you don't even run the Grade 1 Searcher. So I guess if you like ever find this, I guess you just ride it, get like 2 force. But I guess it's kind of counterproductive, because if you're going into Reindeer rewrite down into a 3, you get 3 force instead of 2. So actually this card is counterproductive to what Highlander's supposed to do. Yeah, which is a little bit weird. But otherwise, you know, you still have all your ride down pieces like Echos. Actually, I think that's the only ride down, right? Otherwise, oh yeah, I think that's it. And then if you ride into Argent and get the Minotaur, then you get, you know, ride down as well. Klasina rides down, Justine rides down. But yeah, pretty, you know, still does what it does. Playing the red OT, playing the 1 Akari so that you can draw no Crook. But yeah, just Heltrada the deck. And yeah, that's pretty much just how, you know, this deck formulates its game winning image, and then yeah, just goes forward and bashes people, right? If you go first, you just absolutely steamroll them. So yeah, congratulations to Gabriel and all of the other guys coming first and fourth. Then jumping to Germany, so 2 Greedon, 2 Orphis, the leading, I guess, proportion of this top 8, and then 1 Gandiva, 1 Vanguard without the new support, 1 Zorga, and 1 Omina Gruzio, so the Cat Dragon. Then the top 4 was 1 by Orphis Mask, 2nd was Gandiva, 3rd was Orphis Mask, and 4th was Greedon. I'm actually pretty surprised, well actually keen to see how this kind of changes. Obviously no Gandiva, no Willista anymore. Just kind of seeing how everything kind of pictures once, you know, BCS Singapore, BCS Melbourne comes around, BCS California as well. Just kind of seeing how like the landscape kind of develops. Then looking at V, so 2 Ange, 2 Night Rose, one of them being a Ghosty, 1 Night Rose, 1 Aquaforce, which is Thavas, 1 Luard, 1 Battle Sister, and 1 Sanctuary Guard. My goodness. The top 4, 1 by Ange, 2nd was Night Rose, 3rd was Thavas, and then the 4th was the Sanctuary Guard. My goodness. So just gonna check out this Sanctuary Guard. This was actually a deck that one of my playgroup friends plays as well. So Sanctuary Guard, Ashley, you're pretty much generating like a bunch of like force, right? And then you just loop Ashley into something else, and yeah, you obviously have to like keep your back row all, I guess, grade 1, because then you rest them all, right? But yeah, like otherwise Ashley just chain rearguard attacks, and I think this guy makes it big. Well, yeah, like when it's placed like Calmas 1, top 7, core 1. So essentially you're attacking rear, Ashley attacking Soul Blast 2, call this grade 2, this grade 2 calls something else. So you essentially have 5 attacks, Vanguard has 6 attacks, and yeah, that's just how kind of the deck works. You play the grade 2 right consistency, but otherwise like this card doesn't really boost, just because, you know, Sanctuary Guard kind of has to rest the back 3. And I think this was the Blaster card, right? Yeah, so essentially if it's in the back row rear guard, at the end of battle your Vanguard attacks, you can stand it. So actually you can boost with this guy. This guy then calls something else, and then yeah, you know, that chain calls and, you know, keeps on going. So yeah, very cool innovative list coming 4th place. It's pretty big for Sanctuary Guard. This card has you know, gone walkabout for a very, very long time, so very cool to see it come back. Then premium for Germany. My god, like Grand Blue, these Grand Blue players don't even care about Gridora, don't even care about Chaos. Along with the Neonectars, these guys don't care either. 2 Narukami, 1 Link Joker, these guys don't really care about Gridora. And then first place was Yoann, my boy, finally getting his sponsored invite along with Louis. So Louis came first in Spain, I think, and then he finally got his Worlds invite for Premium. Really, really happy for, I guess, the French boys over there. Finally get to see him back at Worlds again. So first was Yoann, second was Anthony. I think he already got his sponsored invite beating Solemn. And then third was Louis, was with Katrina again, and then 4th was Medi with Narukami. So very, very cool to see. And then just looking at the list for Yoann, so I think this is very similar. I think Yoann and Louis kind of played the same deck. So yeah, I'm pretty sure this is kind of like the same list, right? So with the Maiden of Peony, 3-1 split of the same name Asha, and then playing the damage explosive for the Megaloma. And then if you're playing, you know, a longer game, then you obviously want to play Inverno. Inverno then return stuff back to the deck, search up to 2 cards of the same name and call them, or put them into your hand, sorry. So essentially you can just recycle PGs, so you return the PGs back, grab the PGs back to hand. And yeah, that's just kind of how, I guess, the deck kind of works. But yeah, very, very cool deck, not gonna lie. I guess we'll just compare it. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's the same list. Yeah. This one has like one different name, or different art Asha. But yeah, I'm pretty sure they're the same list. I mean, they're from the same play testing group anyways. So very cool, very cool. Definitely a deck that, you know, I've been playing around with. Very, very innovative list of Neonectar, something that, you know, not the traditional Neonectar that you normally would see, you know, bash, bash, bash. This one's a bit more conservative, a bit more hand-oriented. So yeah, very cool to see. Then looking at Houston, so 3 Greedon, 2 Youthberg. Whew. 2 Youthberg that isn't full blast, my goodness. 1 Gandivo, another Bastion Accord, finally getting another top, and then Orphis Mass, and then top 4. First was Gandiva, second was Bastion, third was Youthberg, my goodness. And then 4th, my boy Greedon. Greedon always coming 4th. Unlucky. But yeah, congratulations to everyone who made it to Worlds. Then looking at V, so we have 3 Night Rose. I think Night Rose is like one of the decks in V at the moment that a lot of people are kind of bringing. And then 2 Luards here, 1 Anj, Tavas, and 1 Steam Maiden. Then the top 4 was Night Rose, Tavas, Night Rose, and Anj. Yeah, so I think Night Rose is a pretty good pick. So, you know, if you're going to BCS, pick up Night Rose. Night Rose is pretty cool, especially with the new VPR. I think the new VPR really makes that deck good, because then you can start chaining Skull Dragons, and then just drawing a bunch in the early game, and then going into, like, you know, 2 turns full of like 4 dragons, which is really, really strong. Then jumping to premium, 3 Narukami with 2 Katrinas, 1 Gridora, 1 Night Rose, and 1 Eve Loop. And the Eve Loop, my goodness, Nara Samurai, you did something that Mark and I couldn't do, and that was to take the deck to first place. Congratulations, buddy. Showing the world that this deck is absolutely crazy, absolutely cracked. And, you know, taking down all the Narakamis before him, Jesus Christ. This is awesome. Love to see it. I think I looked at his deck. The main deck is exactly like mine and Mark's. I think, no, it was the same as Mark's one in Manila and my one in Sydney, because I think Mark changed 2 cards in Sydney, if I'm not mistaken. But nonetheless, very, very cool to see. And, you know, gives more emphasis to Get Myrtle ban. That card is ridiculous. And then Peter coming second with Vanquisher. That's a weird looking Mega Colony unit. 3rd was Naru, and 4th was Naru again. So yeah, that's pretty much all the results we have for the past weekend. I know that there's a bunch of BCSs this coming weekend. I think we have Mexico. We have a bunch of WGPs as well. I think WGP Singapore is happening at the moment. And then, you know, waiting for all the results. You know what other, you know, World Championships is coming or working around at the moment, and that's the League of Legends one. Yep, big fan of T1. Hopefully they win. But yeah, that's completely off topic. If you guys like this video, pop a like, comment down below what you guys think of, you know, all the results that we've seen over the past week, what you guys are looking forward to see in the next week. And obviously, you know, come the set 13 meta, it's going to shape English a little bit different, and, you know, only a few more BCSs left. Let's see who makes it to Worlds. And then if you guys haven't done already, click subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.